After winning Bring the Funny, there's only one question on everyone's minds. Will becoming multi-millionaires change the members of the Valleyfolk, and will money inevitably tear them apart? In the 5 to 6 years from now zone, Joe, the spokesperson for every brand ever created, we're talking Denny's and LensCrafters and Benihana's, he'll become the new Six Flags guy and the KFC guy and the AMC guy, and once he's a worldwide sensation, he'll become the spokesperson for the United Nations. In the 5 to 6 years from now zone, Steve will use his millions to become the next Jack Black or Josh Gad or Zach Galifianakis or Dan Fogler. That's the guy from Fantastic Beasts. He'll be torn between staying with the Valleyfolk or going solo on the road with just a horn like Jason Bourne. In the 5 to 6 years from now zone, Lee will become the first cast member on SNL named Lee, just like predicted, and she'll laugh her way to the top of the food chain, but unfortunately for Delman, she'll have an affair with Tom Cruise in 2027. And in the 5 to 6 years from now zone, Elliot will become the first man with Grace Helbig becomes the first female president. And when they're taking their photo for the cover of Time magazine, the cameraman will ask, "Hey Elliot, please zip up that sleeve zipper, thanks." And in 5 billion years from now, when the sun finally explodes, I'll be there cheering for the Valleyfolk. Good night and good morning, Valley Cats. Peace be with you. Please help yourself to some refreshments in the back. I apologize for this being more than 35 seconds long. Good night.
Wow.
That was great.
That guy talks fast.
Dude, I would have fucked up so many times.
Man.
And maybe he did, but he just edited it to sound like he did.
I like that somebody finally really appreciated the 5 to 6 years from now zone and ran with it.
Yeah.
Because that's a fun idea.
It is a dumb take on the Twilight Zone, but also technology.
It's also
Guys,
intentionally like not that funny. Like there's something about it not being funny that makes it funny.
Exactly.
That intro was brought to us by Peter Clark. And it's called the 5 to 6 years from now zone. Thank you so much,
Thank
Peter
you, Peter.
Clark.
Peter Clark sounds like the inventor of the Clark bar, and he was just like, Clark bar. That's it. Nothing else. I'm just going to, that's fine. What's in a Clark bar?
Peter Clark.
Do you want to know?
No. I think it's like not chocolate. Right? Isn't it like a...
Clark bar is consists of a crispy peanut butter spun taffy core, originally with a caramel center and coated in milk chocolate.
Oh, well, there's some chocolate.
So
in
it's
there.
like it's like a less crunchy Butterfinger.
I'd like to thank Peter Clark for that intro and for his delicious, delicious candy bar.
Wait, I think the Clark bar is good.
I've never had it.
I don't think I've
I
had
think
that.
it's good.
I had 2 Twix bars last night.
Like
Mini ones.
I just think it's good.
You're not a monster.
I'm not. I'm not even sure if I've ever had it, but I think it might be good.
Well, you can't.
I think it's
But you can't.
The chocolate bar, it's probably good.
But you can't do. You
Based
never.
on most chocolate bars.
But you can't. But you can't do that. But you Clark. Peter Clark. Do that with the Clark bar, baby. And this is
that
the
intro
Valleycast.
comes from.
all right. What do you get? What is this?
Hey,
What are we
guys.
doing?
We're in a nice low energy, relaxed state here.
I'm just so
Nice
tired. I
atmosphere.
went to bed too late last night.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
late?
It was like 2 a.m.
Did you go out and have a good time?
No,
You just stayed up too late?
I just stayed up too late.
What were you watching?
Or playing?
a bunch of weird shit. Honestly, a lot of bad lip reading videos.
Oh, those are great.
And
That's
we
like
went
some
down a
good
rabbit
old
hole.
school internet stuff that's still being made that still feels very good
And
old school
somehow
internet-y.
still works.
Yeah. And they don't pump them out. It's like every once in a while they'll just do big events, and it's always really super funny.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they got celebrity voice guests.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, there's a Star Wars one, like a Return of the Jedi one.
Yeah.
And it has like Jack Black and Maya
cool.
Rudolph.
That's like it's reached drunk history level success with that.
Yeah. But you can't really do anything with that on broadcast or on other than like YouTube. You can't really do that anywhere. Because
Yeah,
it's like so many legal issues with using someone else's footage and then doing whatever you want with it.
Excuse me. It could be like a late night talk show segment.
Yeah, but it would have to be with like paparazzi photos or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. You can't just use any footage you want and do whatever you want with it. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure I looked in the book of laws, and I can do whatever I want. So get out of here.
The Book of Laws can be interpreted in many different ways.
I didn't even know that there was a book of laws.
I wrote it. Guys, Valleycast, you know what we do here. We have topics and stuff, but I have some housekeeping. Last podcast we were on, I was talking a little ignorantly about the tunnels under Las Vegas, and I said I would go do some research, which I have done.
Oh shit! Yeah, this is pleasant.
All right, so the tunnels under
I
Vegas
can't wait.
are there because they are drainage tunnels. So when it rains in the desert, like once a year, you know how there's always a flash flood?
Yeah, it all
These
comes.
tunnels were put there so it just goes straight under Vegas and doesn't wash everything out. It's just like, hey, we're going to ignore the people that live there just as much as we ignore the water that runs beneath our debauchery when it rains. So there's 300 miles of these drainage tunnels under Vegas, and they have become the home for the forgotten. There's up to like, some say thousands of people that live under there at times, hundreds to thousands, and they're just like every other big city, the forgotten, the homeless, the mentally ill. There's the drug addicts, but there's
Ninja
also the Ninja Turtles. There's also the Vegas twist of homelessness there, and a lot of people that like just lost their life savings and are addicted to gambling, and they had nowhere else to go, so they go underneath the streets, and when they get a little bit of cash, they go back up and they try to win their life back.
Yeah.
The fascinating part of it all is the way in which they're living down there. Like, people have set up straight up like studio apartments.
I think I've seen something on this a while back.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
like-
it's
Wait,
kind
but
of
what-
impressive. Like,
like-
it's a full on kind of
they
they're
brought
making
furniture and beds, and people are running electricity down there illegally.
What the fuck?
But social services are
Where's
just
the
kind of
documentary
ignoring
about it? Do you think
and
there
that's
is?
where I know stuff, because there is.
There is?
There's a bunch of them, and I've watched
Oh!
it. But it,
That,
yeah,
I'm so fucking
Where did you-
stoked.
where
That's
did you
a
watch
great
it?
documentary.
YouTube's just
On YouTube?
Yeah. And-
Yeah, fuck!
Oh, and you guys made a joke and called them the mole people, and they are actually called, or the mole people.
What?
Yeah. Like, a lot of the documentaries are
What?
called the mole people of Las Vegas. Yeah. And it's crazy, sad, tragic stuff.
Wait, am I blown out? I feel like I'm blown out.
When you
This
go,
is the thing I do every episode. Somebody said their favorite part of the Valleycast is every time I say I think I'm too loud at some point.
I think I'm too loud. But yeah, so it's
what?
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Super sad and tragic.
We
just
made
like
a
every-
mole people joke, and they're actually called mole
actually
people.
called the mole
and when
people.
we were doing mole people, we didn't know as we were crawling under a bed that there are people who live under.
Well, Joe got their
the city.
But
permission.
yeah, I went and asked. That's my documentary.
Do you
that
think
comes
you
out
heard
later.
that term at some point, and it was like
I
in
mean,
your brain?
No, it's a pretty common term for
Mole
like
people?
There's been a mole people, like-
underground dwelling.
There's an old school movie
Oh, okay.
called Old Mole People as well. Like,
Yeah.
it was an old school horror movie. But yeah, super sad, tragic, just like every other big city. But there's this other twist to it as well, where they're in a freaking drainage ditch that is made to handle flash floods. So these people live down there, and when it rains,
They get lost
they
away.
basically have, if they don't get out, a lot of them get washed away, or their homes get washed away, and people have died. But they have like basically a warning system where they just yell and tell each other that, guys, it's raining, and then it'll make its way down the tunnels and people have to get out. This one guy was just like, yeah, you can't really fight it. You just lay down on your back and you let it take you. And because if you struggle, you're hitting things and you're smashing against the wall, and you just kind of go.
Oh my god.
Whoa, this is too much for me to handle.
It's tragically fascinating, but you guys should watch
You
something.
So
just
why-
he was all matter of fact about it. Like you just get down on your back, and the water rushes you out of your home.
Straight up. Yep.
Insane.
Yeah.
So, but like, it's worth living there still?
No, of course not. It's better than living on the street, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're basically left alone, as opposed to like being, for a better lack of words, like an eyesore and a reminder up on the surface level, and being treated like shit. They get to go down there. They're not told to move. They're not, like, they're still trespassing, but social services and the police just don't go down there because they don't see it. And they're just not going to deal with
And there's
it.
nothing you can really do about it.
Well,
you can
they
flush
could.
them out.
They could, but there's no point. They're just going to be on the street then.
Yeah.
And it's a tourist city. They don't want them on the street. And there's
Yeah.
still a number of people up there in the shelters and stuff. But what they've created is, again, fascinating. And one of the people they interviewed was this couple that have been dating for 6 months. They brought a queen size bed down there. They have a dog. They have a bunch of shelves and candles, like
A mole dog?
just a regular dog. You're poor. A fluffy dog. Anyways,
Yeah, that's messed up. I don't like that.
Uh,
Wait, you know what? How to to face it?
I know. I knew. I love you.
Okay, here's what you do.
Elliot's mic is
Just
being
pull the
rowdy,
mic out
everybody.
carefully, and then pull. Yes, now twist No, not on the
I was
mic.
telling you to twist
Twist
this.
that plastic piece.
Yep.
Tighten it up.
Okay, let me hold your mic. I'm holding Elliot's mic while he fixes his mic stand for all of you not watching the video.
Tighten it nice and good.
He's continuing to tight.
Yeah. No, that's good. Don't do it too much.
But now that...
And
okay,
now, well, hold on.
No, this will work.
Okay, great. No, don't do that. That won't work.
This'll
That's
work.
got felt on it. I just realized there's not a lot that grosses me out. That grosses me out for sure.
Okay, now twist the other
Not
thing.
your fault.
No.
Twist
Mike's fault.
twist the dial, Elliot.
This one?
Yes, baby.
Okay.
Loosen that boy up. There you go.
Now retwist the dial. And I think
Now
we've
put
done
your
it.
mic back in, and I tell you what, it's Christmas.
We did it.
You know, when I
Wonderful,
went to
thank
New
you.
Orleans, which was quite a while ago, but you know, New Orleans
the
is
tunnels probably keep them out of the heat too. During summer.
well,
That's
sure, that
probably-
makes sense. The people who live in New Orleans, they love it there so much, and they know that there are going to be floods, and they know that their city is going to be flooded over and over and over and over again, and they just don't want to leave because they love it.
Some people
They love New Orleans so much. It's part
some
of
people
their.
they just can't, but others are just like home is home, man.
Yeah. That's what like the attitude was there. I'd be like, what about when because any tour you take, they like tell you about how the floods happen all the time, and then it like destroys all this shit, and then they just like rebuild and they're back to normal.
It's like the Caribbean. The Caribbean gets wiped out like every hurricane season.
Yeah.
A bunch of
It's
islands
just some
will inevitably
natural-
go through a
Yeah,
lot of
especially now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and people just are like, we this is our home.
Mm-hmm.
You become loyal to it. It's where you
Yeah.
put your roots and you want to save it. Like you don't. It's like fleeing away from it is like fleeing from your problems on a subconscious level, and it's
Yeah,
like you want to
it
save
matters.
the thing that is basically a part of you.
Yeah. It
I know when
totally
I go
matters.
elsewhere and people talk about Los Angeles and they say negative things about it, even though they are correct, there's always a part of me that's like, there's like it feels like it's like they're mocking a loved one.
Yeah, no, totally.
I like because it's my home.
Yeah.
even though it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
And this
fully
place
embraced it
should
as
have
home. Like
yeah.
it's home number 2, or is it home number 1 for you now? Has
I guess-
it usurped Florida?
Well, I guess home is always where your family. Like I feel like wherever my parents are is pretty much where home is. But yeah, I mean this is home for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean you've been. I feel like you still like you have Montana everything, and you were just in Montana.
Yeah, I don't consider LA home, and I've been trying to like change that mindset because I've been here for 10 years and I don't take advantage of it the way I should. Like I've never been to the Hollywood Bowl, which is dumb.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
Oh.
So
yeah.
like there's a lot of things within the
Dude,
area that I need to like start embracing more. Like we went to the Greek theater and I was like, this is great.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Do you love Coco, the Pixar film?
I think it's I like Coco.
I have a ticket, an extra one, to me and Owen are going to see Coco at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, fun.
And it's going to be like a big event, and it's like all these celebrities are playing all the different characters.
Oh, that's really cool.
And it's like orchestral and stuff. And if you'd like to come, Joe, that could be a really
I might
fun
take you up on
first time bowl show
there's
for you.
some
Yep,
there's
great
some,
idea.
There's some internal familial guilt.
Of course.
Like I feel like I need because my family also wants to go to the bowl
course.
sometime. And
Of
I'm
course
like,
they do.
well, there's a part of me that's like the first time needs to be with the family.
Oh,
it's like
I
don't
tell them
watch
to
that
become friends with Steve.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. I wouldn't.
You made that choice, man.
Yeah.
I barred my family.
You're
from
never
hanging out
going
with
to take your
Steve.
family to the bowl. Come with me to see Coco.
10 years in, I suppose I
Say
have
it. You're never gonna.
Just we all know the truth.
Yeah, I did go home, and home was great, and I needed had a much needed exhale.
Recharge.
Yeah, man, it was. I went up with no agenda. I didn't really tell people. I told my dad, and my only rule for myself was I'm not going to sit on my ass and watch television. Like, there's no way I'm staying indoors. So whenever my dad would get a little tired or just was like seeming like he wasn't gonna want to do anything, I was like, peace. And I'd just go outside and I'd drive and I'd get lost and I'd take pictures. Went to the rivers, went to Glacier National Park, walked up mountains, did it all by myself. And it was not all of it. My dad came for a lot of it, but it was awesome.
Let's
Great.
make a short film about what you did in Montana, but it's like a crazy murder mystery, like what the fuck crazy like thriller type movie.
Yeah, just imagine everything that I was posting, both Instagram and Instagram stories
Yeah.
and Twitter, and just know that I killed somebody.
Yeah, like like the whole short is about you. Like, I just need to go home and get, and no, everybody understands why you wanted to go to Montana. That place means so much to you. It's your home.
Mm-hmm.
It's your original home.
The tunnels don't bother you.
And that's where I
With
can
people
murder.
The
living
tunnels don't bother
Yeah.
you. Living
Yeah.
in the tunnels
Yep.
never bothered you growing up in Montana, in the tunnels of Montana. But yeah.
I had really interesting introspective realizations on this trip. I've never flown into my home valley before during the day. So this is the first time.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a clear day. It's in the Rocky Mountains.
that was
I think
beautiful.
I sent you guys a lot of pictures.
And you got to see it.
I
that
flew over
way.
Flathead Lake, which is a massive, beautiful lake, and then went into my valley.
How many memories in Flathead Lake?
So many.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
I went to band camp on Flathead Lake.
Wow, fuck.
But
Yeah, you never get to see it from that
right,
perspective.
and I never had. So I got this new love for the area from an aerial point of view, and I was reminded how much I love it and how beautiful it is and how excited I was to do it. So, and none of that changed. I went to Glacier Park during the fall when tourist season is gone, and I realized that I'd never done that. All the leaves were changing. There were greens, yellows, reds. Awesome. And nobody was there. And so it was like Glacier National Park was my little playground, and it was spiritual at times. But the outdoors, Montana itself, nature, love it. It filled me up with joy. But I also had a realization with my hometown, which is I love it. It's small, it's quaint, there's very nice people. But I realized on this trip that it's not my hometown anymore.
that I hate it.
That I hate it. No, love it, but I know it's not home anymore.
Yeah.
Like I went there, I saw, not an exaggeration, nobody that I knew until the third or fourth day.
Yeah, when I go back to Lakeland, I see no one that I know, and I don't really necessarily want to. There's people I
Yeah.
seek out. There's like one or two friends that I have, but yeah, no.
And I wanted to see people, but they're all gone. And the people that I grew up with, my educators, my teachers, my mentors, they've either moved on or they're older. And the town has evolved, and now it's this new generation's town, and it's different, and they have slightly different values, I feel, and still a part of me. But I would never move there again.
Yeah.
Upon
you know?
returning, did that make returning to LA for the first time, having had that insight, better or different in any way?
It didn't make me feel like LA was any more home.
Interesting.
So I'm a little homeless right now.
Do you feel like there is somewhere in Montana that
Yeah.
could be your home?
Went down and visited my friend in Missoula, my friend Andrew, and you guys met him. He's lived there for a while, and we grew up together in Columbia Falls, and him and his wife live there. And I went and spent a day and a half in Missoula, Montana, where Hank Green is. I saw Hank, and Missoula's awesome. Missoula's big enough that, and it's a college town, a lot of culture. They're bringing in concerts, the same ones that come here to the Greek and all that stuff. They happen up in Missoula. They have a sporting culture with the Montana Grizzly football team, which is big, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's big enough that you feel like you're not, in this tiny town where nobody's doing anything or anything like that. Beautiful hiking. We went for hikes. Great.
What's the
Wow.
population in the little town?
In my town,
Yeah.
it's super small. Like the valley itself, which is a bunch of towns, might be like 40 or 50,000.
Wow.
But my town, 5,000 maybe. That could be a lot. I haven't seen the census
Yeah.
numbers, but
5,000?
yeah. But Missoula's like 70,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Man, I think Lakeland's like 100,000.
Yeah, it's
Bigger
barely. It's not a lot, but it's big enough and it's sprawling enough that you could. There's so much to do if you want to do it.
Did you feel like, because you're going there, you're decompressing, you're figuring stuff out, did you feel like you were able to do that, or did it get in your head if you weren't? Like, at any point where you just like, I should be relaxing and being at one right now and feeling refreshed, but really you were just like bored?
No, I was never bored because I just made sure I was doing stuff. What I
You just
wanted,
kept going.
yeah.
going.
What I made sure is that I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing work.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, my dad was like, "You need to call this person," and I was like, "I'm not going to do that, Dad." And he's like, "What? Why not?" I go, "Because I'm here for me, and I don't know anybody, anything."
I just
and,
couldn't reach you, so I called your dad, and I thought it'd be
Well, yeah. When I'm ready to contact people, I'll do it when I want to do it. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm going to go into the forest. I'm going to frolic and take a dumb picture of me jumping through some leaves.
I know, man. That's
and it was
such a-
awesome.
Yeah.
It was for me.
Good for you,
I
man.
still want to do a movie where you went to go murder someone. You were tying up some loose ends in your life. And it was like, we all understood because you love Montana. Yeah, of course, Joe, go to Montana. But it's like the perfect cover for going to kill someone.
Right.
And also because
I have a list, too. It's like every time I take a vacation, it's take
there's
somebody
like,
off the list.
we see your list, and there's like all of these people that have already died, like for real in real life. Like, we would just put names of real people who've died in the past, like, 10 years, and then the last name is, like, this guy in Montana. And this is, like, you finishing up your list.
I like a part of that being that, in some level, you already knew that was happening, and the weight of the secret is such a burden that you found a way to actually say in detail what Joe Beretta truly did in real life by talking about it on a podcast and sort of pretending that it's within a script that you're going to write, when in actuality that was just your way of sort of confessing the best you can, so that maybe if the chips all go down, me and you will be fine, because it was Joe Beretta that killed those people.
Right. And you could see the tension in Joe sitting there while the story's being told.
Yeah.
And he knows it's his.
Right.
And the audience knows it's his.
Yeah.
But nobody else knows.
No one knows.
I know that
Police don't know.
Yeah,
and that's
nobody
fine.
knows.
Yeah, we love Joe. We
That's
wanna
a
keep
tense
hanging out
moment.
with Joe.
And the name of that movie is Montana, brah. You're going to die.
Oh, no.
Yeah? No? Montana, brah. You're going to die.
that deserves more jail time than killing somebody.
Yeah, it does.
What you just said.
It really does.
So that was it leads into a thing that I thought we could do today for my topic. So it's just an extension of my topic.
Have we
which
started
is
the podcast?
Montana.
Let me make sure.
So my friend Andrew,
Yes.
man, the freaking leaps that we're about to take to get to where we are.
Do you want to do the ads before or
We'll
after?
do it after.
Okay, sure.
Do it after.
All right.
So Andrew and his
heard him,
wife
folks.
had just came back from Iceland, and he informed me about his trip and his experiences, and it was amazing. And I was like, cool. And he's like, also, here, take these. And he gave me
These bones.
two little bottles of Brennevin.
Sorry.
Cough sounded so weird.
Thanks, man.
He gave me 2 bottles.
I'm
of
working on a new bit.
Brennevin.
Okay.
This is called the Black Death. It is a type of schnapps from Iceland, and what you usually drink it with is a harkval or havark, something like that. One of the two. It's fermented shark, and it's fermented shark that is poisonous to eat. Like, you could die if you ate it, because the toxins in the shark, it's called the Greenland shark, are like antifreeze because it's swimming in the cold waters of the north. So the only way to eat this shark is to murder it and then let the flesh rot.
I feel like I should not have smoked that thing before this
I agree
podcast.
with you on
This
that.
Is this is so
I
you left
feel
you're
like I'm
stringing
watching it-
words together that aren't like none of this makes
We're
sense.
not
I
done
feel
yet.
like
We're not done.
I'm listening to an audiobook of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
So you have to let the shark rot. You take the meat off the shark and you throw it into a pit. Some
What does the
people
shark
bury
have?
it.
Where did this come from? The shark, though.
Well, I'm just telling
that's
you,
just
this is what
something
you
you
drink
mix
with it.
it.
Now I'm just telling you interesting things.
Oh, okay.
so
I'm not
the-
about to drink a shark.
No.
Is this sugar glass? Can I smash this on your head?
This one might be broken. Watch out for that. I'll take that one. Okay, so you have to bury it, let it rot for a while, and then you hang it for 5 to 6 months to let all the toxins
the
get out.
fuck?
And then they cut it up into
This
tiny
is
little
weird
cubes.
not being high, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it, yeah.
It's such an
And-
extreme thing to be hearing. Everything you're saying is so intense.
So it's like
Sorry,
it basically
folks.
comes out with the same smell as like cleaning fluids and stuff, but this is like an Icelandic traditional dish from like Nordic culture. But anyways, you wash it down with this Brennevin schnapp shot, and I figured we'd try that all today because you gave it to me.
Wait, but we're not having.
We're not having the shark. This is just the shots. This is also called this Brennevin is also called the Black Death, and I've never had it before. So we're gonna find out what it is, what it tastes like together. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Wow. Okay. Why did I get more?
So you usually wash down really gross ammonia-filled fermented shark with a shot of this. This cleanses the palate. We're not having the shark today, but on a future episode, maybe
But
we
if
will.
we've not had the shark, what is the effect then?
It's just alcohol. Probably tastes like alcohol.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro. Dude, I fucking love to party with my bros.
So anyways, this goes to, Andrew Weed, and I told him I'd tell the story.
Dude, I think this might affect you.
What, this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm gonna take the shot. I'm just gonna taste it.
We can taste it. It's fine.
Oh, all right. I'm
not
gonna take
taking
the shot.
Yeah,
So
I'm
take
not
the
gonna.
shot?
Yeah, we'll take the shot.
I am trying to be a responsible human today.
So my friend Andrew Weed says, "Do you want to hear our personal story associated with it?" And I said, "Sure." And he writes, "It's not really very exciting. We tried it. It was terrible. That's about it."
About this stuff?
The shark stuff.
The shark stuff.
Yeah,
That was about the shark
the
stuff.
shark
not
and
this.
the shot.
Okay, the whole
Yeah.
rigmarole.
The fact that the shot is
they're
called,
saying the rigmarole was not worth it.
yeah, the fact that this is called Black Death, it gives us a little bit of
Also, you're flicking directly on the crack of
I
that
know.
glass.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. Ready?
All right,
to the Black Death.
To the Black Death. And to the people of
Black Death.
Alaska.
Nope.
Why not?
Oh, it's medicinal.
It's like a licorice.
Yeah, it's like black liquor.
Yeah.
Ooh, it cleared my throat for me. I didn't have to clear my own throat.
Wow, yeah.
That.
That's not bad.
I feel
The
like
rest?
someone put a pipe brush through my throat and cleaned it right out.
It's like medicine.
That's a serious. That's serious.
This is like the medicine you'd get in the 80s.
Oof, I feel it in my,
They
my
don't make-
xiphoid process.
Yeah. My liver is actually calling me right now.
oh,
It's fine.
it's not bad.
It's like college. Tastes like college.
The aftertaste is definitely like cough syrup.
It's kind of like a can I am I
NyQuil.
wrong when I say it tastes a little bit like a what's that one that's like a Fireball or whatever? What's it called? The
Fireball.
No, is that what it's called?
Fireball has
Fireball
cinnamon
shots?
though. That doesn't taste like cinnamon.
It tastes a little like that.
That doesn't
to me.
taste like cinnamon.
No.
Well, it's got like the same kind of like sweetness to it though. Maybe.
Yes.
It's they're both like liqueurs.
Yeah.
So there's like a
Yeah.
syrupiness to
Like
it.
a syrupy
Yeah.
sweetness.
Yep. Anyways, we'll try the shark someday.
The aftertaste is definitely not good.
Yeah, it's sticking around.
I got this coffee and I'm hoping it helps.
It helps
I've
a
got
little.
kombucha. This is gonna.
All right. What do you guys got?
I'm gonna explode.
What a weird path that I just took y'all on. Ain't that great?
Cool, dog.
Yeah. Also, go check out the. Oh, that was the last point that I wanted to make. When you have nothing to do and you're not worrying about work, I found that like the creative juices, there's a need to want to still be creative, and I still found myself, taking fun pictures. I did some real dumb Instagrams.
Yeah,
I did a
those were great.
Stick story thing that did pretty fun.
I like
pretty
that
well.
hoof, that deer hoof
The
you
deer
found.
hoof, yeah.
Killed
Ryan,
the
put
guy.
in the stick story from my Instagram into this podcast. Boom, there it is. Bam, boom. Anyways,
the power
yeah.
that he wields, the power that he felt doing that is.
Yeah. Sorry, please.
Found a stick on the ground, and now I'm gonna use it. All this power that I found, gonna totally abuse it. And I hit so much stuff, do not get into my way, cause I found a stick, and I'm using it today. I got a stick, Me. Oh no! Way! We would do such a thing. Why? Why did they do that? Huh? Oh. Oh. Hello.
Guys, this fall, start a new monthly routine that'll upgrade your life and style with a box of awesome from Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post sends guys only the best stuff every month. So whether you're looking to craft your own hard cider, Steve, you can make your own.
I can make my own cider?
Yeah.
Dude, Alana and I would have a blast
Yeah.
making our own cider.
Or-
I like me a cider.
Dude, you could also toast perfectly aged fall cocktails. Box of Awesome has you covered. From style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, and outdoor gear, Box of Awesome has carefully built collections for every part of your life.
Every part.
Every part. To get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. That music is ridiculous.
It's so perfect.
It really is.
It's like whiskey. You like toasting things. You like manly things.
You like them?
You like shaving your junk.
Your answer is going to help them pick the right box of awesome. When you take their quiz, they release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box costs $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. That, my friends, is a big old Box of Awesome deal. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code Valleycast at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code Valleycast for 20% off your first box. I always say it, but Elliot got a cigar box, and I've never seen him be more excited.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, and I'm waiting on my travel box that's coming up too. Have you got yours yet?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I got a travel kit box, a new one that's coming, and the bag, and you're getting the.
I'm getting a grooming.
You're getting
thing,
a grooming
like
kit,
a travel a tote.
I
bag.
feel like
And
I
you
was
got the
completely
toiletry.
left out of whatever this is, and I'm upset about it.
Well, you're just
Guys,
Box
listen.
of Awesome lists.
Audible has the world's largest selection of audiobooks and audio entertainment, including Audible Originals, folks. Audible Originals are stories created exclusively for audio, including documentaries, exclusive audiobooks, and scripted shows that you can't hear anywhere else. Audible keeps you informed, inspired, and entertained. You'll finish more stories when you listen with Audible and always be part of the conversation. With the convenient Audible app, you can listen anytime, anywhere, and on any device, mobile, Alexa-enabled, Bluetooth, and more. You can listen at the gym, you can listen at him, you can snim, and if you can swim. Anytime you can't read, you can listen with Audible. Audible members get more than ever before. Every month, you can choose one audiobook regardless of price, as well as 2 Audible Originals from a fresh selection. This is very true. I use it. It's super cool. Members are stay motivated and inspired with unlimited access to exclusive guided fitness and meditation programs. Sign up for free updates from the New York Times, etc. Audible members can easily exchange any title they don't love at any time. Members keep the library of listens forever. That's true. I listen to many of them, and it's very nice, especially on aeroplanes. You can start a 30-day trial and choose one audiobook plus 2 Audible Originals absolutely free. Here's the deal. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial. Choose one audiobook and 2 Audible Originals absolutely free. Visit audible.com/Valleycast, 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 or text Valleycast to 500-500.
500.
I just finished listening to the audiobook Start With Why, and it's very nice, and it's about creative
very nice.
entrepreneurship,
Dude,
and
a lot
it's
of people
lovely.
have been rocking
and
that book.
It's,
a lot of people.
Yeah, and Cynic, I think, is the author who also narrates the audiobook that you can listen to, and it's very fun if you're into that kind
They
of
also
thing.
got one that I just finished reading on the plane, The Women of Copper County by
Well, you were
Mary
listening to
Doria
it, Joe.
Russell.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, listening to. The Women of Copper Country, I 100% recommend it. You should check it out.
All right, well, if
Very
we're
good.
sharing what we're
Yeah,
reading...
you were telling me. That sounds
It's really good. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Sorry, if we're sharing what we're hearing, the audiobook I'm listening to is Jornald Gray Gonston's The Big Existence of Sky.
The Big Existence.
Big existence. Sky.
Guys, use
It's
our
a
code.
big existence. It's a big existence. Guy who chews up a lot of scenery has got a
He can't
big
conceive of
existence.
how big the sky is.
Oh, man.
Existence of the sky.
Good stuff. Steve, what you got, buddy?
Let me switch up the music here and we'll get a little new party going. Yeah. You're in the club now, bitch.
Yeah, I feel it. I'm in the back. I'm a little nervous. I don't want to walk onto the dance floor yet.
Absolutely not, because you want to see if there's enough people out there first.
Yeah.
You got to hide amongst numbers.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, well,
gotta
there's some pretzels at the bar.
Or I could order from.
Or you can not go to the club at all, Joe, which is what I choose to do 9 times out of 10. And when I'm at home,
You go to the club 10% of the time.
absolutely. 10% of the time I'm invited to the club, which is 0%. I am there 10% of the time. But I don't
percentage-
like going out to the club because I like staying home for fuck's sake.
What percentage of you would go to the club right now if I said, let's go to the club right now?
I'd go to the club with you right now.
100%?
Is there any club that's running at 11:30 a.m.?
Because you're in the 10% of people that ask. so-
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you, Elliot. Elliot understood my weird backwards math. Guys, when you need red wine at 4 p.m. or a sushi at 9 p.m. or a breakfast burrito at 8 a.m. and ibuprofen at 10 a.m. Am I right? Postmate it.
Yeah.
Postmates is your personal food delivery, grocery delivery, whatever kind of delivery service all year round, ladies and gentlemen. Anything you're craving, Postmates can deliver.
365.
They're the largest on-demand network in the U.S. and offer delivery from all the restaurants, grocery, and convenience stores and traditional retailers you could possibly want or need. And that's absolutely true.
It is true.
It
I
is.
once got a bag of Doritos for my kids.
Yeah.
Grace and I will do 7-Eleven orders when we're feeling particularly childish, and
Yeah.
it's like milk, Cheetos, a Lunchable,
You never
and
have
a hot dog.
You never have to go to the store ever again in your whole life. You don't even have to know where the store is. You don't need to even think about anything outside your home.
It's auditioning for a Scorsese.
Yeah.
Postmates will deliver anything to you. That's right, anything. Download the app for iOS or Android for free. Browse local restaurants and businesses and track your delivery in real time if you're one of those impatient types, which I am. And I like watching where my Postmate deliverer is. I like to make sure they're on the right track.
It's also cute looking, tiny little
Yeah.
car.
It is cute looking.
I want to set the stage for all those people just listening to this podcast. Steve has glasses on, and he is swirling his Brunevin that he's not drinking in his glass
From Iceland.
constantly.
As he does a 7-minute read for.
Here's the deal for everybody listening. For a limited time, Postmates is giving the listeners $100
Perfect timing on the music.
of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use the code Valleycast. That's code Valleycast for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Come on, guys. $100!
Do it!
Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. Download Postmates and save with code Valleycast. Thank you.
And fade out the music. And Elliot, what's your topic? Steve, what's your topic?
So listen, I went to
Where's the cat?
I went to Detroit and Chicago, and Detroit was filled with the nicest people I've ever met.
You were saying that.
in my life, like creepily nice, like amazingly, and authentically and beautifully.
Did you
nice.
go in with preconceived notions that were put into your brain long ago as a kid, and you heard bad things about Detroit from movies and television?
No, I actually had no idea what to expect with Detroit. I didn't think it was going to be this like hard city anymore, but I definitely heard that kind of like, it's like rough, but I'd heard good things about it already. Like Peter loves it. Peter's
good.
very like, he's like, Detroit's like this up and coming thing, and it reminds me of Ireland, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. And it was wonderful. And then I went to Chicago, and it was freaking so beautiful, and I've never been to Chicago, and I want to live there. And I was walking around, and I was like, man, I love it. I was like, I love it more than I thought I would love it. And I was like, I don't need another place that I would be okay living in.
Did you
and
get
then
down into that section where the river goes through and there's all the tall buildings? It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
then
were there.
and
We
then
were?
Yeah,
Oh,
in
yeah,
Chicago.
I think you're right. Yeah, I remember now.
yeah, and then we saw Joker, and which is kind of cool to do in Chicago because it's all Gotham City feeling, and it's
Yeah.
like at least it's a big city. But anyway, it got me thinking about places I'd be okay living in, and there's like Chicago and New York and like certain parts of Florida, and then places that I would
big cities.
Yeah, places that I would want to have a home in, which is different, and that would be like Vegas and like I don't know, probably Montana. Something.
You haven't been to Denver yet, have you?
I've been to Denver, yeah, but not in a way that I
You haven't
particularly
explored it.
Remember? Yeah.
I have a feeling
I was
you'll
in
love
Denver recently, I think.
Yeah, Denver's great.
But it was only for like a day. Yeah.
I've never been to Denver.
You're
I
gonna
was
love
beautiful.
Denver too.
What?
He's gonna love Denver too, because he loves Austin.
Yeah, you would. Denver.
You're gonna love Denver.
Denver's like, yeah.
Is
better-
it like Austin
it's
in
better
the
weather
mountains?
Austin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's got the Red Rocks, which
That's
are also
yeah,
dope.
which I really and that Red Rocks Theater too.
That's what I mean.
Not just the Red Rocks.
Yeah, it's got the Red Rocks, and within the Red Rocks is the Red Rocks.
the Red Rocks.
It's got the Wed Walks, but in the Wed Walks, all the Wed Walks.
The Wed Walks and the Wed Walks is the Red Rocks and the Wed Walks.
Well, you're saying it wrong. It's Wed Walks. Yeah. So, what places do you guys would you guys like? Because I feel like everybody. Here's the thing that happens. I think where people. I grew up going on when my parents would take us on vacations. We go somewhere and they'd be like, "I wouldn't want to live here. I wouldn't want to." And they kind of gauge it by like where you'd want to live if you visit somewhere, which doesn't need to be if you visit somewhere. You can just be like, "I'm visiting it and I'm going to look at it and it's going to be great." It just so happens that Chicago is so freaking cool. But anyway, like, when you go places, do you sit there and you judge them according to whether you would live there? And is that
I
how
think that's
you like it or
natural.
not?
Yeah,
I feel like it's you gotta
base it off of your personal
like
experience,
you
right?
do
But
one of
like-
those things where you look up in the sky and you're like, can I live here?
But like, if you decide you don't want to live there or wouldn't live there, does that mean you don't like the city?
No.
no,
No.
I guess it means it's a nice place to visit.
And if you visited LA, you wouldn't be like, I want to live here, but you do live here.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't think I would have
want it.
ever.
I mean, yeah, my proximity to LA is why I love LA and why LA works
Because
for
it's
me.
home. So it's still basically home.
Yeah, it's home.
There's parts of like exterior LA that I'm like, oh, I could live here. Like even as simple as like Santa Clarita, which is more of like a little family place, but still very close, and I can commute to work. Other than the
It's
traffic.
called Santa Clarita.
Oh, you're right. Shit, I'm drunk. One shot from Iceland and I'm gone.
That's what it is. Whoa. Okay. I A, forgot about the shot, and B, I was like, I don't know what I'm even asking you guys right now.
No, I know what
You
you're saying.
asked if there are any cities we want to live in, right?
I've got
Yeah.
answers.
What's your like?
I got a bunch of.
I guess
answers.
live in is different than like then. If
Well,
we're-
Missoula, I just said would be.
Or like, what are your favorite cities? Is that what you're asking us?
favorite would be different, I guess, because you might not want to live in your favorite city.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
what we're,
Well, I think there's a bunch of
trying
answers to it. Like I really like Austin, and I know you like Austin,
love
Steve.
Austin.
And there's a part of me that's like, I could maybe live here, but the weather in Austin is so excruciating that I'm like, that kind of turns me off a lot. So
Sure.
there's a part of me that thinks maybe. New York, I'm like, I could have lived here when I didn't have a family, and I wish I would have had that like 5-year stretch of my life where I was by myself, or just me and my wife, and we were living that young person, because I love walking through the buildings.
good band-aid on the end.
Oh, what'd I say? Young person.
Or with my wife would have been cool too.
Oh, well, no. I guess the answer that I'm saying to that is kids. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to raise kids in New York City. I think it
Yeah.
would be a nightmare, and like taking them to school and commuting and all that. But when I go there, I fall in love with it for 2 to 3 day stretches at a time, where
Yeah.
I'm just walking between the buildings and it feels otherworldly. There's a part of me that really is romanticizing New York, but I'm sure would be really tough.
That's a great answer.
you know.
That's a great answer. That's the kind of answer I like. That's a good answer.
Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Seattle. I could totally find
Vancouver.
myself.
Oh.
in.
Yeah, Vancouver.
I
That's
fell
all-
in love with Vancouver.
Wait, is that where we were? Or we were in
Toronto, which is also a wonderful city.
I have not been to Vancouver. I don't think.
Denver is another one, and then there's a place that I've never been before, but there part of me is like, I could live in Maine. I don't know why.
Yeah, me too. I've
But I could
never
live
been
in
to Maine. Yeah, I've never been there, and there's definitely
You
a
could
part of
live
me
in
that's like,
Maine if
I
you
would.
want to live in Maine.
Yeah.
I think my car could break down in Maine, and I wouldn't. I
fine.
wouldn't do anything.
I'm good.
I'd be like, all right.
I think my answer, it tends to just I hate being hot, man, and being skewing to the
Yeah,
south.
yeah,
I would
that's a
just
big deal.
I'd stay away from
You
the
guys
south.
both get very like when it gets hot summers here. You guys get
Hate
very
it.
like I can't stand how hot it is.
Yeah, I do not like the heat.
I prefer cold, but the hot is
Toronto was also
born in.
really cool. I like Toronto. Could I live
Yeah.
there? I don't know, but I liked the city.
yeah. That place was great.
So yeah, those are my answers for now. Steve.
Yeah, mine are very similar. Although I really love Vancouver.
Have you guys been to Miami?
I've not been to Miami, no.
I hear Miami's fun.
It's pretty neat.
Vancouver, like it was the quickest like I've ever fallen in love with a city. I feel
Really?
like, yeah. But I've also never been to Paris. I'm sure people fall in love with Paris. I've heard.
Yeah. Ooh, Juneau, Alaska. I don't know if I'd live there, but I fell in love with it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Another great
Yeah,
answer.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Juneau's beautiful.
You
Austin,
can love a city
uh,
and not want to. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's my relationship with Vegas. Is I would never want to.
I'd never live in Vegas. Juneau is Glacier
I
Park
could live
on
in
the ocean.
Vegas, but I wouldn't want to. I'd have to be like done with a lot.
If you had like a residency,
I'd have to be like pre-retirement or something. Yeah, there you go.
Like if
the
you're
residency would
performing
get me
and-
to live there.
yeah. But like just to live
But
there.
you don't even have to live there if you have a residency.
If I
I don't like desert
have a
life.
residency and I'm doing stand-up comedy in Vegas every weekend at some small club, I'm dead within about 3 months.
Yeah, I know. I know.
people.
That would
Mole
be
people.
That, you know how they
Yeah,
say like
you're
you
gonna
shouldn't
live with the mole
you can't fly you can't fly too close to the sun.
Yeah.
You can't give me that kind
Yeah.
of
I
Your
know.
wax wings are just melting away.
yeah. don't
Yeah, I also do love Vegas. I don't know about living there really now. But
I was just there, and I thought Grace and I weren't particularly looking forward to it. And then we got there, and immediately we were like, okay, we're going to stay an extra night. And
Yeah,
we
of
just started,
course.
and I was like, oh, I do forget how much I actually really love this.
It's so
this trash
fun.
den.
It's so fun. It's just there's
If
always shit
you
going
know
on.
how to have fun, people
Yeah.
a lot of times I think don't know how to have fun.
I don't even gamble.
Wait, you
really.
guys are talking about Vegas. I think that fun just isn't as alluring if you're there all the time.
Well, yeah, of course.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
just
No,
like-
after 2 days.
I guess we're talking about the visit more than anything.
Yeah.
We drove back through it, and I jokingly was like, "You couldn't pay me to go in there right now and do anything."
I wanted to let me push my topic out here really quick for you guys. Are you done? Are we done?
Wait,
with our
yeah,
place
yeah,
number?
of course.
Wait, can I do a
That's-
follow-up question
Of
really
course,
quick
of
on
course.
it? Are there some cities that you're like, hell no, never?
Yeah, but that's a dangerous thing to admit
I'll
because
admit
there's
it.
some.
Dallas, never.
Arizona, any part of Arizona.
I'm down with that. No, thank you.
Never.
I had a rough night in Dallas, so I
Dallas, yeah.
I wound up
in.
in an area of Dallas that's not good. That was very scary.
Oh, that's not good.
And-
That'll kill it for you.
And it did kind of ruin the mystique of Dallas.
Yeah.
the pristine mystique that it
Houston's
had
on that
before.
list for me as well. A lot of Texas, apparently. Moses Lake, Washington.
I
Nope.
mean, any kind of deserty places are really hard to want to live in. Like for especially if you're trying to move into a home, that's like
some-
at least what a 10-year thing. If you know, I don't know. I would not. I
used
don't want
to,
to live in the desert for 10 years of my life.
I used to drive from Gainesville to Polk County, Florida, and it's like I think I-75 is the interstate that you take, and there's any town along that corridor basically is like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
could
think
live
it's just so also there's just so few people, and it's like it doesn't have some cities just don't have a sense of community.
Salt Lake City is another great
That you can
place.
tell.
That area. I don't know if you guys have been.
I
Salt Lake
feel like
City's
I've been
amazing.
to Salt Lake.
I don't
The
think it's
area.
Salt Lake, but it was just in Zion, you know, and that
Yeah.
was
There's some laws in Salt Lake that may not be something that you look forward to, but the area, the mountains, that whole like expanse is amazing.
You know what's interesting though about the law? You're talking about the liquor laws?
Yeah.
The liquor laws, when we went glamping, we stopped at this liquor warehouse thing that you have to stop at, but that right before the border, because when you go in, you can't get it. So we went in there, and it was like Lagunitas IPAs, like the big ones, and they were like $2.
Hello.
And
But
was
were they
like,
lesser alcohol content? I think they ship, or they used to, but they used to ship like lesser.
I don't know.
versions of
I
those
didn't
things.
check. That's a good question. But also, same thing for the alcohol was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Too. It was just like,
Okay. One
wow,
more.
what a riveting story.
Yeah. One more question, then you
I
can move
forgot
on,
we were
Steve.
doing a podcast, and I
Nashville.
just started talking to Joe.
I've never been to Nashville.
Nashville's pretty cool.
Would you live in Nashville?
Yeah, I would live in
Yeah.
Nashville.
Nashville's kind of like Nashville's pretty cool.
bet
I
you
would
that-
live for part of the year.
I bet you
in
the
Nashville.
energy's like amazing in Nashville.
Young
Like,
people, it's fun. It's got people are moving into the city at a rate that's insane, so the place is just exploding
Yeah.
all the time. Like I think they
It's
said
pretty
at one
cool.
point more people right now are moving to Nashville than are moving into LA.
Wow. And it's just like creativity and music.
And I don't know if
and-
that's true or not. I think I
Throwing
heard
out
something
facts.
like it, and it
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Bananas are produced in Nashville at a higher rate than anywhere else in the world. Did you know that?
Yeah.
What?
It's incredible. No,
What?
he doesn't know that, but I mean,
Well,
This
now
is
you know, Steve.
bullshit.
he thought he heard something.
I don't
about
want
it.
to hear any more goddamn
right,
bullshit
Steve, go
from
on.
you.
We're
Joseph.
all over the place
Go
today.
on, baby.
All right, my topic has to do with something that I talked about in great detail with my boys on the latest Dynamic Banter episode. Humble plug. But I thought it was such an interesting topic that I would love to extend it to my other boys,
Okay.
my Valley boys.
Okay.
And the topic was the new Terminator movie. And like not really more so about the movie itself, but more about how like what's the robot enemy in this one, right? Because that's the thing you think about with the Terminator movies.
It's
like
Latin.
who's Arnold facing up against this time?
It looks like Latin T-1000.
Have you seen what its technology is? Like what its special thing is?
It's like, yes, but also I only know what I saw, which is like he's like the T-1000 but better.
T-100. Well, yeah. So he's a T-100 exoskeleton with the T-1000 liquid on him.
So it's the same.
So it's like a twofer. It's
a
like
two-for-oneer.
It's a wet robot on a dry robot.
He's a chimera wet
Yeah,
robot.
I think that's what it seems like it is.
I think it looks great.
Sure,
man.
it's fine, whatever. But it's not that cool of a. It might be the coolest robot villain idea for Arnold to fight in a Terminator movie in a while. But we were talking about how the T-1000, which is the Terminator 2
iconic
Terminator,
looking, the way it looks.
the liquid metal guy, the wet robot, he was really
Robert
cool.
Patrick.
Yeah, that was a really fucking cool opponent for Arnold.
And had never been done before.
And it had never been done
The
before.
guy that runs in his hands then
Yeah.
becomes
Yeah, and
the-
he can make liquid metal arms and stuff.
Yep.
And then after that, it just like none of the robots were ever really cool again. There was like,
How much cooler can you get though than a wet
I mean,
robot?
well, that's what I'm saying.
I
like
mean, it
that's
should have went solid robot, wet robot, gas robot,
That's
and they
what-
didn't do the natural progression.
You're right that they haven't done a gas robot.
although there
That's-
is
It's
like
just gas powered, and you start him like a lawnmower.
listen to me.
It's called the Cloud.
There's 6 Terminator movies, and in one of them, there's like a nanotech robot that's like millions of billions of tiny nanos, which could be like
That's cool. Yeah, it's like a gas.
that's kind of gas in a way, I guess.
Gas, that's fine.
But anyway, so my question for
Not
you
as
guys
cool as a lawnmower, then.
is what would be a cool robot villain? What would be your cool idea for a robot villain in a Terminator movie to fight Arnold? Like, what's your cool? What do you want to see in a robot villain?
Does it have to be cooler than the T-1000?
I mean, you can try.
Man,
That's what I'm saying. Like, try. Because this is what this
give
is.
it a shot.
Give it a shot.
bro. What if it was like the T-1000, but his appendages don't turn into like knives and blunt objects, but it's all just like lawnscaping tools? Like, this is his weed eater arm. These are his pruning shears.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he has like a bunch of arms.
Because
like a
in the
Swiss Army
future,
knife.
it isn't
I
all
feel like
just
that's
war.
like an easy answer to like.
But no, no, no.
Obviously, that's cooler than.
Look, guys, it's not just war machines in the future. There's going to be utility machines, ones that do the jobs that we don't want to do, and one of them is landscaping. So
Yeah.
you send back this malfunctioning landscaping bot, the T1 landscaper,
Edward Scissorbot.
Edward Scissorbot, and he just goes nuts. I hate my answer as much as you
yeah,
guys do.
yeah, let's-
Okay, I thought of one.
Okay.
Actually, what if it was like it was just any technology that's in the room. So it's like if you're like walking around, like suddenly a cell phone becomes like a fucking projectile knife or whatever, and the cell phone shoots out of someone's pocket and goes through.
He or she is
It.
able to bounce around from technology to
Manipulate technology
via
itself.
Wi-Fi.
Like
Yeah.
Magneto, but
Just- it's like
with
something-
with fewer things.
Yeah. It's like a Magneto that you don't see because
All right.
it is literally just a force field of like some kind of energy we don't understand.
Here's my answer. There is a new type of technology that is a robot that is on an atomic level, kind of like what we were talking about with the gas thing. And because it's at an atomic level, it's able to mimic human flesh. So like rather than like cut through the skin and you see the robot, you can cut all the way in. There's like organs and everything, but still on an atomic level, it's a robot. And the only way to find out, like for it to like clank like it's metal and like show its robot thing, is if it's threatened. And so you have to basically kill 2 people that look exactly the same. You have to kill one of them, and whichever one is the robot. If it's the robot, you try to kill it.
Dies
It shows
like
it's
the
the
real
robot.
way.
Except if it's not, they end up killing real people because they were able to mimic the look of the other.
That's like
actual
2 or
human.
3 types of scary.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Because it could just turn into anybody, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it can mimic anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The other one is, and the movie Upgrade kind of did it. I watched that recently. Really good. You guys should watch Upgrade.
Really?
Did you guys watch Upgrade?
Upgrade?
Watch Upgrade.
What is that? I
That
feel like
is where a guy gets cybernetically enhanced via a computer chip, but the way they shoot the action scenes in it, it's never been done before. It's amazing.
Cool. Where
very
did you
cool.
see it?
I watched it on Plex, I
You
think.
fucking liar.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't watch Plex. Netplex. But it's really good. Anyways, but like that, a robot that would be scary is one that can, because we're all just like ones and zeros on a different level, but
Sure.
it's something that can tap in to the natural electricity created by humans and our natural neural pathways
Yeah.
and just manipulate us, turning us into robots with just a simple microchip.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did great with this topic.
Oh. Or a bird.
Big robot
bird.
bird, but then it's like click, click, click.
Like a Terminator
glitch.
bird.
The birdinator.
A Terminator bird.
The Terminbirder.
The birdinator.
Terminator bird.
The birdinator.
Bird and the turd and the Terminator bird.
The birdinator bird.
All right. Well,
Okay, yeah. What was Mike's answer? What was that? Or,
Mike said he wanted to just use Ed 209 from RoboCop.
all right, that works. Remember? All right.
And then Ben Meckler, who was our guest, said he wanted a taffy Terminator.
He could just stretch Armstrong.
He's stretchy and he's sticky, yeah.
All right.
Just a mess. Just a stressful
Yeah.
mess.
It's real good.
Guys, thank you for joining us for this
Yeah.
very laid-back episode of the Valleycast. The Valleycast and
talked about a
programs
lot of stuff.
like it are brought to you by our lovely patrons at patreon.com/thevalleyfolk. When we get up to 5,000 patrons, I'll be dyeing my hair any color that the patrons would like. And so help us get there. And maybe we'll reach it, maybe we won't. Whatever. My hair's not going anywhere, hopefully. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Joe and Steve, and thank you to our Lord. And amen. Thank you guys.
God bless.